Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is DarkSageWalker, and I don't normally do recordings on Tuesdays or, video stuff in general, but I figured I'd missed so many uploads over the last little bit that maybe I should get back to it and try to do at least a little bit to catch up. Now, we're putting on the temple robe. That means that we are definitely doing a Arcana spotlight. And it occurs to me that I completely missed the fire element like a complete genius. So we're going back and doing that, and we're going to be starting with Flame Cross. And there you go, that's Flame Cross. So we'll be going into more detail on Flame Cross and what it does, but first things first, let's make sure that we have that settled, and let's also now make sure that we get the soundtrack choice done. I forgot to do that the last couple of times I've done a video. Let's actually get it done right this time. Alright, so we are looking for a number between 1 and 3. Here we go. Auto-generate me a number. 2. Alright. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Alright, so, Flame Cross. Let's be real, Flame Cross is nothing special. It's one wave of flame that goes one way, one wave of flame that goes another way, and then one that crosses over in an X pattern. This is one where you can hold down the button to get it to go. So there is that. It's also fairly quick, just boom, boom, boom. Very simple, just boom, boom, boom. There's nothing overtly special about that. It's... Hold on while I grab myself my drink. And there's nothing more or less that could be Flame Cross. It's just 3 streams of flame. Let's look at its damage. So stream number 1 does 6. Stream number 2 also does 6. So what do the cross streams do? 18. Now, as you can see by standing off to one side, they just do 9 apiece. But if you can get them in the cross section of it, it does 9 twice, which is of course easy. The knockback is light, and like I said, it's just fast. So that being said, the damage being 30 isn't bad. And as you can also see, the final 2 streams actually have a bit more range to them. Now, the hitbox is narrow, but it's not quite as narrow as Ice Dagger, so you still have a little bit of room off to either side for control. It's not much, though, so don't think that you're going to be kept almost completely safe like when you're using Frost Blades. But this one gets its work done with a nice mid-range and speed. But it also has nothing else really going for it as far as attack types are concerned. It's just a basic. Now, let's look at... Actually, use Idealist Mirror for that. Now, as you can see, not only is the move faster, but we have more range to work with as well. The move doesn't do any more damage, but we still have a nice, impressive range on. Like, as you can see, you can actually hit enemies all the way over there with it. There you go. So that takes care of that. Now, since we know the damage isn't any different and the birds are going nuts. I mean, as they should be. They are birds, and it's, their morning time. They're allowed to communicate. So, Sidewinder's badge, how does that work? So, the damage goes from 6 to 6 plus 2 for the first 2 waves. And then 9 plus 3 for the last 2. So if we're putting that together, that's 8, 8, and then 24. So it puts it up to 40 damage with Sidewinder's badge. Like it's an extra 10 damage. That's nothing to laugh at. That having been said, we have seen more damage from other Arcana. But the reason why you would use Flame Cross isn't because of its damage. It's because it's very fast. Like, this is probably one of the speedier and more controlling basics in the game. Now, my recommendations for candies actually differs a little bit depending. If you're working with the unenhanced one, go with the cotton candy. If, however, you have the enhanced one and have an extra range to play with, then I would recommend the cinnamon dots, or, for the first time in a while, I would say the citrus sweets actually aren't bad either. And then the others are just kind of average. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said, there isn't a whole lot to talk about. It's just nice, fast damage. You're using this to supplement your other Arcana. So, that having been said, let's build a run around this and see how it works. Now, I would actually recommend going in with something that boosts your critical hits. So, I would recommend Hope, Shift, or Awe for this one. And I think for purposes of this demonstration video, well, demonstration / full run, we are going to use Shift, as that's, of those 3 that I recommend, it's probably the worst of them, but I mean, being the worst of the best is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, the question becomes, what do we want to use for the rest of our build? See, I have a soft spot for Flare Rush, but I think I'm going to use Razor Burst. Let's see. I think because we're going with with more of a critical hit focus, we want to use things that are going to be good for critical based damage. So, Arc Sphere would be good for that. We're not exactly... Because of the light knockback, you could actually do Ultra Combo with this. You just go boom, 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 and then drag the enemies back in. Like, it's not perfect. There are better basics to use for Ultra Combo. But it is possible because it has light knockback. But I don't think I'm going to do Ultra Combo this time. I think this time around I want to kind of lean in a more hybrid direction. So, how about Crystalline Balestra? No, I kind of feel like using Cascading Blitz. I haven't used Bubble Slaps in a while. I kind of feel it. Finally, what are we going to do for our big boy, our signature attack? Again, I should be looking at something that's a bit more hybrid. Like, the first thing that comes to mind when I think hybrid is Obsidian Cascade, because it does multiple hits, but then it also does a lot of damage. See, we have Cascading Blitz, so we have something that just charges. I kind of want to go with something that has a little range to it. Actually, so might as well just go Tracer Barrage. But let's have a quick look. Let's see if there's signature that I haven't used in a while. That's a maybe. Raging Inferno is good as is, but it's not a wonderful signature. Kinda want to use Dragon Arc. I haven't used it in a while. And it's pretty decent for critical hit builds. I just don't want to be a broken record about... Sorry. I don't want to be a broken record about Tracer Barrage. You all already know that I love Tracer Barrage. We don't need to say anything else about it. So you just make everything deal 99 damage, which for Flame Cross is nice because it acts so quickly. So Makeshift Bridge just seems completely positive. Like, it's odd for a cursed relic to just have no downside, but that's okay. I'm not necessarily looking to do that. We will start in the Chilling Dungeons. And here we go. So let us now remember that the whole point of Flame Cross is that it's quick. It's a nice, quick mid-ranged attack. You're just using that to supplement other parts of your builds. But its speed does lend itself to one thing particularly well, and that is combos. Like, I already touched on this a little bit with... when I was showing off Aqua Vortex in the Ultra combo setup. But this is a move that can be used very effectively for combo setups. So maybe not. Maybe Aqua Vortex is a little lacking in definitive range for this, but you can use this with, say, Fading Petals and get a really decent effect, especially since Fading Petal will actually slow your enemies. I might actually try that as a nice little theory draft. Okay, so we can take that. Everything else is kind of iffy. To be fair, Rushing Typhoon actually wouldn't be bad with this build. But we also have relics that we want to pick up. And I think, for purposes of this, because I have both a basic and a signature that are fire-based, we're definitely taking Ifrit's Match Sniff. Unfortunately, I would have to give up Bubble Slaps, and I don't want to do that. So, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to go without Dr. Song's Blessing. I know, it's painful. You never want to turn down a doctor, especially one that's also a vampire. Now, since it is something worth pointing out, not all attacks can go over pits. Normally it's the ground-based ones like Prickly Ballet and Rock and Roll that can't go over pits. Fortunately, this one can. can go away anytime now, thank you. Why do you insist on being so difficult with me? Alright, we probably got another battle room coming up here. So, as you can see, that worked out pretty well for combo potential. But yeah, if I see Fading Petal, I'll probably pick that up before anything else. It just seems like a good thing to have. And as you can see, I very much enjoy using Razor Burst aggressively. It's one of my higher ranked dash arcanas simply because of that. Alright, so is there anything else we're going to pick up before we move on? I'm going to grab this just on the offset that we get the Magician's Wand to show up. I don't want to be out the ability to use one of my favorite combo pieces. And pardon me while I shift bound in my chair. In my chair. Comfy gaming chair. Now, one of the downsides to Flame Cross is that it is not going to really get much stronger without relics. Like, that's one of the downsides to this one, is that its damage almost never gets any better. I mean, I'm all for Cascading Blitz getting upgraded. Now we have a shield! Cascading Blitz has a shield. And it explodes at the end of the mix. And I admit I sometimes get a little caught up in my own sauce and don't dodge attacks that I probably should because I'm really focusing on trying to get that maximum damage in. That's probably why I haven't cleared a run of Critadel yet, is because I'm really focusing on trying to get maximum damage to happen. And I'm not dodge rolling as often as I should. Okay, this room is horrifying. Alright, well that room just destroyed my soul. Alright, what do we have over here? And we've got 2 Power Stones. Fortunately, neither one is that good. This one tends to push enemies out of your combo range. And since we're kind of trying to build a combo build, we don't necessarily want to do that. But then there's the Cobalt Firestone, which only really has an effect when you're like right up next to your enemy. I don't know, I might buy one of them, or I might just forego it. I might also, actually, if I can afford it by the time we're done, grab the Shock Wire. Because, yeah, it's not a great Arcana, but again, for combo builds, it's not bad. But I can also think of better. Might actually go with Sonic Breakers, because that one is ridiculous. You know, Dark Sage, there's portals for a reason. Yeah. That's all I got to say. I feel like my performance on this floor is my punishment for not offering Dr. Song an offering. Alright. So, certainly as you can see by now, my damage potential isn't exactly lighting my heart on fire. And unfortunately I can't afford Sonic Breaker, so we'll just have to make do without. And keep in mind though, there's a reason why I started with this one. I tend to start at the bottom and work my way up with I've done that with each element. And the reason why I kind of put Flame Cross at the bottom of the Fire Elemental list is precisely for the reason you're seeing right now. It's just so basic. That, and it also just doesn't really get any better as the run goes on. It's quick. I will never take that away from it. But it just doesn't do a lot. Like, its damage is kind of mild. Like, it really only shines when you've got a full-on combo build. Which is why I'm saying, you know, if you guys remind me, and by the way, please do if you're interested in trying this out, I think this would be the ideal combo piece for Fading Petal. Well, that didn't work. Or in fact, nothing seems to be working right now. Everything is in shambles. God damn it, why don't you die? There's a reason why I took the Horned Halo, because right now, I am not feeling very confident in this run. Now, Deferred Dynamo is also a really good combo piece, because against smaller moves, it just drags them back towards you. There we go. Alright, so now we can upgrade Flame Cross. Oh, and hey, there's Aqua Vortex. I may actually do that because, like I said, Flame Cross's speed lends itself well to combos. So I might just grab Aqua Vortex, even though I had said earlier that this is not the ideal way to do an Aqua Vortex combo. I think it still works out. Just because something isn't ideal doesn't mean it won't work. In case you're wondering what's going on here, the game's pathfinding AI in this room is really buggy. Why don't you go away? Christ. Nope, not taking that. Yeah, I'm a little quiet right now because I'm having a harder time with this one than I thought I would. And I'm really trying not to fail this run up hard. I'm just hoping it's not already too late, essentially. Alright, so here's hoping that I can still afford Aqua Vortex, because I really think that that's what's going to make things better. We'll grab that. See, now I can afford it regardless. Now, I had praised Flamecross's speed earlier, but as you can see from using it in actual play, the problem is that you have a long hitbox, but it's also a narrow one. So it doesn't always get the job done when you really need it to. You are making this unnecessarily difficult. And as you can see, because Deferred Dynamo drags enemies back to me, that actually works as a pretty good combo piece too. There we go. Matter of fact, I might want to... I'm not 100% sure about this, but I might just do an entire video on just combo builds. Build where, you know, you basically follow a flowchart. One thing leads to another, leads to another. Because I'm sure most of you are listening to this going, yeah, but aren't all builds combo builds? Aren't you just trying to string hits together? Isn't that the whole point? And to which I would say yes, but also there is a difference that needs to be pointed out. Like, it's one of those things where I'm not sure I would even do it as a build video. That would just be like, look, here's some information for you. Alright, so as much as I like the cannonade there, but I should probably not take it. Okay, that was a mistake on my behalf. Oh, and for what it's worth, yes, I'm in big fucking trouble. The idea that my build right now has so very little coverage actually makes it hard to keep things controlled. Because one thing that combo builds are definitely set apart by is the idea that they're typically only really great in one-on-one scenarios. Which is one of the things that makes combo linkers like Fading Petal and Aqua Vortex so great, is that they can hit all around you and mitigate some of those problems. See, that is not necessarily the case with things like Deferred Dynamo, which are great against single enemies. Not so much when you're trying to fight off an entire group of guys with pointy sticks and big knives who just want to stick it to you any way they can. So, as you can probably already guess, the flowchart goes a little something... And yes, I'm going to be stupid and upgrade my robe. So the flowchart goes a little something like, use that, then use that, then do that again, do that again, do that. So the idea is that we have just moves constantly dragging enemies back into my range so that I can keep pummeling them. Now, of course, when you've got a build like that, you really wanted a decent critical hit setup, which mine is eh. And of course, if we actually had like a decent amount of additional damage, that would work out nicely too. But actually, what I think would be best would be the electrifying smock. That way, I get more stun time on my attacks. By the way, I kind of accidentally picked up Paralytic Venom Stone. Here we go. No thanks. So the problem being, Paralytic Venom Stone, although great for crowd control, not so good when you're trying to string together ultra combos. Okay, I'm constantly getting these confused, so I'm going to switch them around. Again, I apologize for being so quiet, but... the problem I'm having is that I'm just not capable of outputting a decent amount of damage. Do I blame that entirely on Flame Cross? I mean, a little bit. And you heard me say earlier that Flame Cross is definitely a lighter damage option. It's fast, but its narrow hitbox and its kind of lack of positive crowd control means that it doesn't really do enough to really keep it strong throughout a run. And we're definitely seeing the effect of that now. It also doesn't stun for very long. Yeah, let's just be 100% fair about this. This is not a very good basic. Like, I'm trying not to be super mean to it, but so you'll have, again, forgive me for being so quiet. It's not like me. Normally I'm just sitting here going like, oh, but then he threw a goat at his vehicle. No, this time around I need to concentrate because I am getting manhandled. I can't even call this lack of practice, just... ugh. Now, say it with me, what's the biggest problem that I'm having? Inconsistency. Very good. We all win it. Okay, so that will be a big help. And so would Ring of Reserves, honestly. So we'll just take that. But I mean, damage isn't our only problem. If that was our only problem, then there would be a lot less to complain about. And as you can see, the later you get into a run, the less time you have to really do anything with your combo setups. Which is why you need more stun time. It's also part of the reason why, even though it's fast, I still think that there are better combo pieces than Flame Cross. Okay, I actually felt super in control there. That was kind of fun. Okay, Merchant's card actually made a big difference. I don't feel so fragile anymore, but that having been said, a lot of the problems are still there. The idea that it just doesn't generate a lot of torque by itself, like, it's an issue, but it'd be less of an issue if it had a slightly wider hitbox. Because one of the things that you're typically going to be using your basic for is for maintaining control. I just think its hitbox is a bit too narrow for that. It's kind of similar to my problem with sorry. Had to focus on laying the smack. But it's kind of similar to my problem with Ice Dagger, where the potential is there, and once you realize that you can get a lot out of it, it's just not ever going to be quite up to your standards. Also, is it just me, or do the lightning-based enemies get way more homing attacks? But hopefully you guys are starting to see what I mean about combo pieces. Like, there's a lot to be said for... a build like this when everything starts to come together. But you kind of need it to come together a little bit faster and a little bit more controlled. There we go. even with all this being said, I think I would still not rate Flame Cross any lower than like a low B, because it's not unusable by any means. And I hate how that move just has an instant hitbox. Good lord. In case you're wondering, yeah, I am definitely feeling a little embarrassed at my performance. Like, hopefully you can also see that a big part of the problem is, one, being disappointed about the Magician's outfit, but two, just the idea that Flame Cross it's so iffy of an Arcana. Like, and that's kind of the problem with it. It's, again, say it with me, inconsistency. Like, a lot of the issues that I have with it are just the idea that, you know, when it works really well, but when it isn't working, it is a piece of trash. I'm in trouble. Okay, well, this stupid hat didn't get me anywhere. Alright, there, we have a shot. And boy, did I spend a lot of chaos gems to get here. Y'all better be thankful. Spent so many of my chaos gems. Well, there goes the bonus from that. But I didn't expect it to last very long, especially not with him doing nothing but summoning null flash agents. God. And again, it's just nothing but null flash agents. Look how narrow the hitbox is. Like, that's ridiculous. And here we go again. I am absolutely amazed that I did that. And I may now just have changed my mind on trying to use 646 damage. God, that's embarrassing. But yeah, that's Flame Frost in a nutshell, and there's a good reason why I don't use it very often. Like, I complained about how narrow the hitbox is on Ice Dagger. Now take that narrow hitbox and try to make it work when you're being held still by your own spell. Sound like a lot of fun? It isn't. So yeah, low B, maybe high C, but yeah, I don't ever get much out of Flame Cross, which is why I almost never use it, but if you guys have a different opinion of it, let me know in the comments below. I am always happy to have a conversation about anything, any topic that I've covered, and just in general. So, you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. But that's all the time I've got for right now, so thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for coming and spending some of your free time with me. Hit me up in the comments on the social media, subscribe to the channel, and that's all I've got. So until next time, my name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.